So how do I go about processing music from my MP3 player since I can't use a hex editor? Oh, that's actually pretty easy, and I'll walk you through the entire process behind it. First, I need to open up, well, if a song does have an intro to go with it, and it's, well, in that case I need to open up both the loopable version, or the one that's got the intro in it. Obviously I have to set the project rate so that it matches the true speed, or it's otherwise going to cause some problems when it comes to the finalizing. And of course I also have to make sure I have the normal loopable version out. So, now that I got these open, I need to find out what the speed range is. Of course that's 88% true speed, but I need to find the range. What am I doing opening up a programming thing for? Well, I need to update this particular part in the program here for getting the speed process, but first thing I need to do is I need to grab a template. This is part of my programming techniques, is just to use templates like this at a kind of formats I can just simply copy and paste and otherwise go from there. It's highly repetitive stuff, and I actually have everything sorted alphabetically, so that would look like it would go here. Final Fantasy VI World. I have a habit of using spaces. Why isn't anything coming up? Alright, let's see here. Same as this SNES version. I gotta find that one. Here it is. Oh, that's why. It's not Final Fantasy VI World, it's FF6 World. Okay. Because if something doesn't come up, then I know that the thing doesn't exist. And here it works fine. And yeah, that's a complex looking number, but there's a reason for that. Yeah, it's the system that I otherwise used. So, now I need to go find the speed change, or, well, I also need to set the actual name, where in this case I can include the spaces and actually use the full name. Nothing really all that special there. Of course, it's wise that I save. So now I need to go by and otherwise find out what the speed range is. Normally I go with the slower end first and I kind of estimate where it might be. But in this case I'm actually not too sure because I don't remember too well. And normally I would actually be using this full version, but I would like to use a sampler for this. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to use the sampler and find the point where it otherwise sounds it's kind of, this is for the best zone. There are 3 basic areas that I consider, just to give you an idea, or at least a background. There are 3 zones, unlike the previous system where I used 2. There's a best zone, which is where I listen to it the most, where it often sounds the best of the best. There's good speeds, where I don't listen to it very much, but it still sounds reasonably decent. And of course there's the other speeds, rarely listened to, but mostly meant for experimentation. What's the difference between these zones, basically? Well, in the processing, just to give you an idea, look at all these speeds that I've got here. There are a ton of speeds on both ends of the spectrum. Okay? And then, for those same areas, notice the difference here. There's fewer speeds there, and that's the good zone. And this is the other zone. Look how few speeds there are. That's quite a difference. That's basically the difference between the two, is that there's a lot of speeds. Differences in the number of speeds. So, I'm going to have to go by and process this song until I find the point. Yep, that's good. Now for 75% true speed. Quite peaceful, but it's still very good. 70%. Still fairly decent. 65%. kind of marginal. We'll try another one. Really can't tell because it's right on the margin, so I'll try one more. Miss. Doesn't help. Let's see, that's 55. I'm going to try it on this one, see what the 55 is like. Kind of leaning towards the 60 being it, but you might think that I'd be using 30,000 for the true speed, right? Well, in this case, in my program, I've set it up so that 100,000 is the true speed. Why is there an inconsistency? Well, actually, it's pretty easy. When I look at the end result in my MP3 player, the first thing I'll see are 6 digits. That represents the speed. Well, if I use 100,000 for true speed, I'll know at a glance, in an instant, what the true speed is. Because it's so easy to divide by 100,000. Or 1,000 anyway. Because you just drop the last 3 zeros, basically. Or at least put a decimal in the middle. So, at least now I know what the lower limit on the best speeds are. Now I'm going to continue even lower, so that way I can find out what the lower limit is. That's 50% true speed. Now I'm trying to find the lower limit of the best zone. Now for 45. That actually sounds a little better, interestingly enough. Okay, we'll try 40. Kind of marginal on that 40. Let's see. Still not too bad. Still not too bad, so I guess I could still go another step lower. Let's try 35. I would have to say that that's got to be the cap, because it's really getting slow. 35% true speed. What about the other speeds then? Well, in this case, all I do is basically I cut this one in half. This is meant for experimentation. It's really nothing special. So, now that I got the slow end, now it's time for the upper end. Okay, let's see. I know... We'll start here for now. Yep, that's clearly in the best zone. Yep, that's definitely in the best zone. 90%. Okay, that's very good. 95%. You probably remember that one. 100%. you might recognize this song at this speed much better. So nope, I'm going on the upper end now. 105. You generally don't listen to the upper end too much, so I'm probably going to keep it at 100. Because actually that 17-day record, I think, was actually with 125% true speed. So let's see, I'm going to kick it up so I can find the good song, which is otherwise immune to that. That's 110. Now I'm going to go for 115. It's actually a slight improvement. So now for 120. It's about the same as the previous, although not by much. This is if you record with the TalkBoy in slow motion and play it back at normal. And that's the 17-day record, which is really crazy. Let's see, it's 130. And from this point onward, I normally jump by 10, so now it's 140. Very nice, surprisingly. 150. Still not too bad. Okay, 160. Boy, this is going up there a bit. I'm kind of marginal on that one. I'll try 170. Just having a hard time deciding, plus I had a mind drift. Whoops. Still about the same, although slightly worse. Slightly. There you go with 180. It's gotten noticeably worse there, so I'm going to have to say it's 180. For this one, I kind of really have no set system for. But I would probably say, I don't know, I'll go 300 for 3 times true speed. So what does that sound like? Well, there's a problem. You might have seen it from my mistake. Now, 300% true speed would normally call for this, but Audacity is annoying in that it won't let you go above 100,000. Considering, if you saw in another segment, I had 115,000 played perfectly fine. In fact, sound cards even go to 192,000. And with some other things, I've actually gotten Audacity to play, get this, 1.5 million. Yeah, that's right, 1.5 million HD sample rate. Audacity can support it, although it's rather CPU demanding, and you might end up with a buffer-related problem or error. But still, at least you get the idea. There is a way around that problem, though. Audacity's annoying limitation that I don't think should even exist. I need to use, well, something like this, and I need to use change speed. Now, why don't I use change speed otherwise? Well, for one, it's slow, It takes a long time to do. And second, it deteriorates the quality if you do it enough times. If you speed up a song, you're losing much, much more quality. If you slow it down and just keep alternating between true speed and 80%, for example, you're still going to end up degrading it. Changing just the sample rate in bytes per second, 8 bytes get changed, and you always get true speed. Plus, when you alternate between random values like 80 to 100%, for example, you're never going to get true speed back, or at least not easily anyway. So in this case, I need to actually double the speed. In this case, this is the only way I can get anything beyond Audacity's annoying limit. Yeah, that's triple speed. But at least it gives you the idea.